created 3 million jobs since Election Day. Nobody thought that was possible. We've passed the largest tax cuts and reform in American history.
Thanks to President Trump's tax bill, American companies are thriving, but big businesses aren't the only ones benefiting. In an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal, our next guest writes, quote, "The new tax code gives me hope. The U.S. economy is roaring, and small businesses like mine have a lot to do with it." Here to discuss is President and CEO of Joseph's Light Cookies, Joseph Semprevivo. He joins us today from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Good morning to you, Joe.
Hey, good morning, Steve.
Well, let's start at the beginning. What does your company do?
So we make sugar-free cookies, 12 million a day, and we ship them all over the world and all across the United States.
All right, there's a real good chance that folks who are watching right now have had some of your cookies in their house. In the past, how tough have the taxes hit Joseph's Cookie Company?
Oh, it's huge, Steve. So what happens is, for every dollar that a small business company brings in, 40 cents for just the federal, 39.6 cents, has to go into a separate bucket and is taken out of the economy altogether, so they can pay their taxes at the end of the, at that next tax cycle.
Sure. Okay, so now with this tax cut that was passed by Congress, how's that going to impact your cookie business?
Well, so what we did when we received those those funds, we went to our most dedicated team members and we offered raises from $3,250 to a little over $5,000 per person. And I went to one of our delivery route drivers and said, "Here's a raise. You could thank President Trump and the Republican Congress for this, because the Democrats were opposed to this tax cut, which was a direct caused us directly to increase your wages." One of the first persons, Mike, he cried and said, "Now that my little 9-month-old baby will have a brand new car, because I'm going out there to buy a car today so she could be safer." And the car was assembled in Detroit. A salesman sold him that car, got a commission for it, and the car dealer made money. So it's affecting so many different people across the way.
So, Joe, when you hear Democrats talk about how the president's tax cut bill and how it's impacting people, and Nancy Pelosi saying it's just crumbs, not crumbs to the guy who cried because he's going to get a new car.
Exactly. That just tells you how far removed Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are from the people. And it was the whole partisan, the Democratic Party in the Senate, that completely voted against it. 29 million small businesses are in the United States. They employ half of all employees, 57 million people. And when you look at that, I mean, that's everyday people getting money, that's paying their rent, buying food, giving the opportunity to buy a car. And to Nancy, of course, with her position, Nancy Pelosi, she makes so much money. She's so removed from her constituents and from the middle class. They were anti-middle class and anti-small business when they said no to President Trump's brilliantly orchestrated tax plan.
Well, she called it Armageddon, but the story you just told us, it is far from that. Joseph Semprevivo, President and CEO of Joseph's Light Cookies. Sir, thank you very much for joining us and telling us your story today.